Do you like the art of mystery? Are you into illusions? Then you definitely want to check out the latest show at Liberty Magic. It's called Meant to Be, and it's the brainchild of Hennick. He's a musician and entertainer who's performed all over the world, and he's got this really cool specialty. He offers personalized mysteries. The show runs through September 1st, and if you want to make sure you are up close to the action, definitely consider upgrading to the VIP experience. You get reserved seats in the front 2 rows, and there's a special meet and greet after the show. Get your tickets at trustarts.org/magic before they disappear.
Today on CityCast Pittsburgh. Maybe some of y'all are stronger than me, but I cannot go clubbing on a weeknight and show up to work the next day. But if you want to go dancing in the middle of the week, there's still plenty of amazing options. We're bringing back a conversation between former interim executive producer Mary Lee Williams and 2 line dancing and West Coast swing teachers. They'd love to teach you all of their moves, even if you're a total beginner. It's Wednesday, August 21st. I'm Sophia Lowe, and here's what Pittsburgh's talking about.
I'm here with Kin Ho, an instructor at 412 Step. Hi, Kin.
Hi, Mary Lee.
And I'm also here with Yubin Kim, an instructor with Pittsburgh West Coast Swing. Hi, Yubin.
Hello.
Kin, you do line dancing, and Yubin, you do West Coast Swing. Can each of you describe what the vibe is like at one of these dances? So, Kin, we'll start with you.
Yeah, so I'm with 412 Step. We're a line dancing and partner dancing organization founded in the LGBTQ space, and we do a lot of two-stepping and waltzing in terms of partner dance, as well as both country line dancing, as well as line dancing to just contemporary music. We're at a place called Belvedere's Ultra Dive every Wednesday from about 6:30 to after 9. It goes until it goes, and we start playing the music, people start to arrive, we do a couple lessons, and then the rest of the evening, it's sort of like people know some dances. There's a very kind of social atmosphere where people are just, talking to each other, having a drink or what have you. But then like a song comes on that they want to dance to and they're right on the dance floor. And usually after a certain time, the dance floor is always going. And then there's people on the side talking, and it's a lot of fun. It's every Wednesday, and it's a reason we look forward to Wednesday.
It can get a little rowdy, but if you don't want to dance, you don't feel like a ton of pressure.
Yeah, that's true. Though I think as part of, it's sort of almost more of a kind of a tradition when a partner dance comes on, a lot of people who are more experienced in dancing will kind of go out and look for people who they either don't recognize or who, might be standing in the corner to try to engage them. And I think that's part of what sort of sustains this, is trying to kind of always grow an interest in dancing.
And I'm guessing there's some like really hot 90s country playing.
There is hot everything country, I feel like. I have learned to love country after joining this group.
Heel and toe, heel and toe, heel and cross, and up, down, I messed up that time. Back, side, side, heel, jump, step, that's just the way it swivel, right and left.
And so you do West Coast Swing, which I'm guessing when I think about swing dance, I think like big band. Is that, what's the vibe like
Right.
there?
So West Coast Swing is a little bit different. You may have seen it on TikTok and Instagram. It's blown up on social media these days. It's a swing dance, but it's danced to popular music that you hear on the radio. So, whatever is top 40 is what we dance to. I think that's why it's becoming more popular. It's a super fun dance. At our dances, you show up 7 p.m. We have lessons from 7 to 8. So there's like an intermediate class and also a beginner class. If you're brand new, never done dancing before, you don't need to bring a partner. Just show up. And after that, we have about an hour and a half of social dancing. So that's time when people in the room dance with everybody else. The community is very friendly. If you're new, people will specifically seek out to go find you to dance with. I would say like we get like 30, 40 people a night these days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we need a bigger space actually. We're growing very quickly. So come join the movement.
And so this is like, you guys do it like once a week?
Yes, every Tuesday.
So Tuesday and Wednesday, your dance cards are very full, clearly.
Yes, I actually go to 4 and 2 step occasionally as well. It's a lot of fun over there. And Ken, you need to come back to West Coast Swing on Tuesdays.
That's true. I've been to West Coast Swing a couple of times. I think I'm still kind of shy because I feel like West Coast Swing is so amazing and it's also challenging, and I don't live up to it.
Oh, don't listen to Ken. He's great.
I mean, I actually have seen Ken doing line dancing. I saw it happen at Spirit, and I will say, you can really bust it to some Shania Twain in particular.
Thank you. That's very kind.
So I'm kind of blown away that West Coast Swing happens to top 40 music. I honestly had no idea. And so I guess the idea is like in West Coast Swing, similar to line dancing, you kind of learn the steps and then they're just applied.
This is different. So in West Coast Swing, you learn your basic patterns, but it's a led and followed dance. So it's improvised in the moment to what the partnership feels, what the leader and follower feels, and what the music is saying. So there is a leader role, the person who's kind of creating the structure of the dance, and there's a follower role, the person who is filling in the details. It feels like a conversation.
Oh, cool. That's really interesting. So this is the kind of dance you guys do. You guys are both instructors, but you started, I assume, at a place where you didn't know anything about this. So Ken, when did you get into line dancing? Because some people might be like, oh yeah, I have this really great hobby. I sew like, but then you're like, oh, my hobby I line dance.
Yeah. So the group was actually founded about 5 years ago by a guy named Bill Blancett, who still dances with us. And it was, I sort of joined maybe about a year in, and it just seemed like so much fun. And I think when people dance and you can tell they're having a good time, that's sort of what drew me in. And so started to do these line dances. Never thought I would end up where I am right now. And, we were growing, and then the pandemic hit and everything sort of shut down. And I think that was a big loss. But for some of us, we would get together in our little quarantine groups and like line dance in the garage. And that sort of kept it alive. And I think we were always looking forward to a day where we could do this again, which is obviously now. But afterwards, I think I became involved in the leadership more and more, and sort of we had to grow a little bit, but I think we're there and we're growing, and it's really exciting to say that we've come all this way. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I got into line dancing. It's meant a lot of different things to me, and I consider it a really important part of my life.
And Yuban, you as well. How did you get into West Coast Swing?
Right. So I'm a software engineer by training. I made a pros and cons list. Right. I started dancing as an adult. I've never done anything movement related in my entire life before. Again, I was a computer nerd. So this was around 2015, 2016. I was like, I have never tried dancing. I want to learn how to dance. So I went and looked up a bunch of different social dancing styles like salsa, bachata, East Coast swing, Lindy Hop. Made a list and said, okay, what are the pros and cons of learning each dance? And for West Coast Swing, the pros were that, you get to dance to popular music, what we listen to. So I looked up West Coast Swing in Pittsburgh and started dancing there and never looked back since.
I mean, like, I kind of want to see that list because there's a lot of places and types of dance you can do in Pittsburgh. I was kind of surprised when I started looking at how much there is that's out there.
Yeah, we have a really robust social dancing scene, especially for the size of the city. There's so much dancing. It's great.
Explore the evolving landscape of the Pittsburgh steel industry with Steel Stories. It's a podcast from U.S. Steel, hosted by technology and business journalist David Kirkpatrick. The series dives into important conversations with industry leaders who are shaping the future of steel. In the latest episode, David talks with U.S. Steel's president and CEO, David Burritt, and Nippon Steel's vice chairman, Takehiro Mori, about the recent alliance between U.S. Steel and Nippon Steel, and what this collaboration might mean for the industry and for the Pittsburgh communities that it touches. Listen as Seal Stories explores topics like job protections, facility safety, and efforts to reduce carbon emissions, issues we know resonate with a lot of you in and around the Steel City. If you're interested in understanding the impact of this partnership, tune into Steel Stories. It's available wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Make this new school year an opportunity for your kids to learn important life skills with Greenlight. Greenlight is a debit card and money app for families where kids learn how to save, invest, and spend wisely, while parents keep an eye on kids' money habits. Greenlight also helps families get into their fall routine with a chores feature that lets parents assign chores and pay kids allowance when they check them off. Get your first month free at greenlight.com/Spotify. Greenlight.com/Spotify.
Now kind of getting into, someone's listening, they think these dances sound really cool. This sounds like something I really want to get into. What can people expect as a beginner? Do they need to do anything ahead of time to learn any steps? Is there anything that a beginner needs to do to kind of get in on the dance floor? Yuben?
For us, really just show up. That's all you need to do. I would recommend not wearing really grippy shoes because you want to move just a little bit. You don't need a partner. You don't need to have ever danced before. Like, that was me. I haven't danced before, hadn't done anything before showing up.
It's really the same. The shoes are the same. You want something that isn't going to make you stick to the floor. And usually I think people they tend to get very nervous because like, oh, I don't dance well and these people know what they're doing. But the reality is, we just want people to have a good time. And so people just love it that you're there.
Yes.
And a lot of times people will just sort of teach you steps on the fly. You know, on some nights we actually do more formal lessons. But, you know, if anyone were to ask me there, I would just do kind of a side lesson of the basic steps. And that's all you need to know. And you just build on that.
Can I just show up or do I need to pay any costs or anything?
West Coast Swing, if you're a beginner, your first time in is free. So, you know, we get you in, then we hook you, right? That's how it works. Afterwards, if you're a student, it's $10. If you are not a student, $12.
And Ken?
Yeah, for our Wednesday dances, they are free. There's no cover. We do sometimes have what we call like hoedowns or kind of events outside of the Wednesdays on weekends or what have you. Sometimes even with live music. And for those, because of all the work, everything that goes into planning them, we do charge $10 cover.
Ken, you said 412 Step was kind of started in the LGBT community. So what makes line dancing so great to kind of have in the queer space and to kind of open up dancing to the queer community in Pittsburgh?
If you look at partner dancing, the traditional kind of paradigm has been like male lead, female follow. And so if like two men dance with each other or two women dance with each other, I think there are sometimes in certain dance communities that might not be looked on as favorably. And I think this is where some of the LGBTQ plus centered dance organizations kind of arose from that. But when I think about line dancing, you're just sort of dancing with a bunch of people in a grid pattern. But we do it, I think, to kind of create a space for people who are of the community, but also to be able to integrate that with, the community at large too. So there's nothing, you don't have to be a member of the LGBTQ community to dance with us.
And then Yuben, I know that West Coast Swing is a partnered dance, but can anybody partner with anyone at West Coast Swing?
Yeah, absolutely. As Ken said, I would say like very traditionally, it has been gendered in roles. The community locally and globally has done a lot of work to try to break down those barriers. So for example, I myself both lead and follow. I compete in both roles. And it's very common in our dances for people to both lead and follow, for men to dance with men, for women to dance with women, for non-binary folks to dance with everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Whoever you are, whether you want to lead or follow, you're welcome at West Coast Swing.
If somebody's listening to this and maybe they have gone clubbing before or they've gone to like some DJ nights in town and they're thinking, well, I go out. Why and I like dancing, but why would I try this dancing? Why would I kind of want to, explore this style?
Do you want to see my pros and cons list? Is that what you're saying, Mary Lee?
I'm actually, that's all I want. All I want is the pro and con list. So why should they explore new styles? Like, what does it bring to the table?
I think with line dancing, there's different levels of dances. They're kind of rated from beginner to what's called improver level to intermediate to advanced levels. And, of course, you don't start with an advanced dance, but, you get better and you start to kind of embrace these like challenges. And I think being able to do that is at least something in this particular space that I find particularly appealing. And it's the same thing with two-stepping or partner dancing. You get better, you learn more tricks, and it becomes a more exciting experience for both people who are partner dancing as you go along and as you improve.
Partner dancing is special because it feels like a conversation with a person to the music. So I did love club dancing when I was in my 20s, right before I learned West Coast swing. But since then, I haven't gone really back to club dancing because it's hard to compare those like magical moments that happen on the dance floor with another partner. And again, it's a community. You get to meet new people. And West Coast Swing right now is just small enough that if you go to a new city and you're a West Coast Swing dancer, you'll automatically have like 40 friends there, right? It's pretty great. But it's big enough that there is West Coast Swing in most big cities. So yeah, you get to be a part of a new family.
So if we want to find you virtually, can you tell me, do you guys have websites, Instagrams? Where can we find out more if we want to get our groove on, I guess?
So we have a website, pghwcs.com. Very simple website. Just tells you where to find the dance. Most of our communication actually is through Facebook. There's a link to the Facebook group. I can link a link tree to Pittsburgh_WCS, and that has a list of more West Coast Swing dancing groups around Pittsburgh.
Cool. And Ken, where can we find 412 Step?
Yeah, so we also have a website. It's www.412step.com. We have a pretty active Instagram feed, which is run by another organizer. His name's Shane, and I love his stories. He's always posting, and I'm sort of addicted to our Instagram feed. And we also have a Facebook page as well. So I think those are kind of like where we primarily exist in social media. And it's usually pretty easy to find us.
Cool. And then parting thing, can you tell me your favorite move in your respective dances?
I would say my favorite basic West Coast Swing pattern is the sugar push. It's pattern-led in compression, and it offers a lot of opportunity to explore, both for the leader and the follower.
Cool. The sugar push. I like that. Ken?
Yeah, I actually don't know what it's called, but you can describe it. We have a dance called Walk the Line. And at some point, you sort of, people oftentimes will sort of launch sideways and kind of click their heels. It's kind of like that dance from the heel click from the Wizard of Oz. But a lot of us just throw ourselves in the air, click our heels, and then kind of come down. And it looks actually quite spectacular.
It's very impressive. I've seen this.
The second I'm off this call, I'm trying it out. Hopefully I don't break a bone. Ken Ho, an instructor with 412 Step, and Yubin Kim, also an instructor with Pittsburgh West Coast Swing. Thank y'all so much for talking with me today.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Come dancing with us.
That's all for today here on CityCast Pittsburgh. If you like the show, please tell a friend, leave us a rating and review, and don't forget to subscribe to our Hey Pittsburgh newsletter. If you're looking for more dance events, we have them in there all the time. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. See you then.
We just did an interview with Colin Williams at City Paper about what happened to the nightclub scene in Pittsburgh. And I wanted to start by finding out, are either of you guys like into clubbing, like going out to a bar and kind of like unts.
Kind of, yes. It's been a little while since I've been out, but yes.